everyone, and I think we are ready to start. As usual, the first session is to warm you up, and Ramona, one of the admin organizers for the event, will present, as usual, the logistics. I'll have then a short summary of the last 15 years, and then we continue with the presentations. The first presentation, our main guest here, actually, Professor Thomas Magedans, the head of NGNI department at Fraunhofer Focus. Yesterday, the people that wanted to go to Focus had the chance to see that they are doing really nice and interesting research there for the future. So Thomas is here to give us, again, more updates, more insights about what they are doing there. And then Marius, your guest yesterday at Focus, will be tomorrow with further information from the Institute. So I'll let Ramona start with the admin side of information, and then we'll continue with the presentation.
Good morning. I'm Ramona Modroiu, co-founder of Kamailio project and member of the management board. For people that are this year new to the conference, many of you I already met in person. I'm very glad and honored to address you a few words in the opening of this year edition of Kamailio World Conference. I thank you all for being here and being part of Kamailio community. So this is special, so let's party. Cakes and balloons should not be, should be at least on the slides, if not in reality. I take this opportunity now because I am with Asipto, and together with Fraunhofer, we co-organize this conference. I take this opportunity now to give a special thank to our sponsors this year, very generously. They were also this time and pretty numerous: SIPWise, SIPGate, Matrix MDocs, Digium, CND Coordinator Dynamics, CMOOD, NGVoice, DIDX, VoiceTel, Evariste System, and PASCOM. They were doing a great effort, and we really appreciate their effort. No. So let's see what we are going to do today and tomorrow. There will be 2 days. The conference is a single track conference, so everything is going to happen in this room. This room has a nice name. It's called Spectrum. And the coffee breaks and lunch will be in the big hall of in front of this conference room. It's called Atrium. In the evening, everybody is invited to join us to the cocktail party from 7 to 22. So be there as numerous as you can. There will be several interactive sessions, so something new this year because it's a special edition. We celebrate 50 years of from SIP Express Router to Kamailio of the project. And this morning we'll have here special guests, the let's say developers of the project from the old good times. Irji, Torga, and Andrei will join us. Okay. In the afternoon, Randy Resnick with his well-known VUC panel. And tomorrow, we will have a look at the state of SIP endpoints with Asterisk, Zoiper, and FreeSwitch. And of course, was James Buddy. the dangerous live demos of James Buddy. So be prepared. It will be tomorrow. Of course, maybe you have already noticed there are some exhibition stands in Atrium Hall. There you find our exhibitors this year: Asypto, Digium, Cornator Dynamics, Matrix, ngVoice, and Zipwise. Definitely they will have something interesting to show you also this year. Okay, in the agenda that, in the schedule that was announced on the web page, there were 2 changes. From Matrix, the presentation will be defended by Oddvar Lodvas, his colleague, the colleague of Matthew Hodgson. He couldn't come this year. And also a short notice change. Nir Simeonovich had a problem. And it's okay. Couldn't appear, so we'll have with us, we are happy to have with us Tim Penton. Okay, now I want to bring to your attention again the VAT issue. So we charge the VAT for the registration to the events because it's a must. I know many of you are coming from European Union countries, but in this case, the reverse charge system, the VAT reverse charge system does not apply. It's an admission to an event, and it's a different rule that applies. So the VAT had to be charged where the events takes place. In our case, in Germany, the German VAT had to be charged. But it should be, for European countries, easy to take it back, to claim it back, because it was already paid to the tax authorities here in Germany. And your company has just to file with your local tax authorities, not with the German refund, and should get easy. For the people coming from countries outside European Union, it is a paper-based procedure, but still possible. You know, or if you don't know, we have Wi-Fi here available. The details, the access details, yeah, there are flyers at the registration desk. If you don't have them, just ask. And since we get online, we can also spread the word and share the nice moments that we have here with our friends and family and colleagues that couldn't attend this year, the conference. And having said this, I leave you now in the company of Daniel. He's going to take you through a journey. We'll talk about a bit more about the history of the project and the 15 years. Okay, Daniel, you have the microphone.
Okay, so here it's again something rather short. We'll have tomorrow the last session, a bit more open about also a bit of the past, but as well as the future of the project. Now, of course, some updates. We have this nice new logo that stands on your t-shirts eventually, and I think everyone kind of likes it. The old one was more like trying to transform the one from OpenSCR with SIB router combination. Now we have more like a clear branding. And together with that, recently we updated also the website, which tries to keep the same simple approach. The main benefit would be it's easier to browse, hopefully from mobile devices, having a responsive responsive template for WordPress. And here we are with the evolution of the project. As many of you know, the initial name was SIP Express Router. Still possible to use it if you want to compile with that name. It's you just need to say which flavor of binary you want to compile. Otherwise, we try to focus on packaging Kamailio to be simple to maintain from the point of view of shipping via distributions, and also from the point of view of community. Everything is now around Kamailio.org, as well as all these brandings around, and we already have a trademark on Kamailio, thanks to Henning Westerholt, which he should join us tomorrow, one of our old developers and one of the best friends of the project across the years. So again, a big shout to Fraunhofer Focus Institute that they released it as open source after 1 year of development back in 2002. So the project was started internally in 2001. And by 1 year of development, there were a lot of features already available. If I remember correctly, we had authentication, transaction management, but also IPv6. So it takes a bit of time to catch up with our feature on the market, but we had many of them from a very long time. After a while, there was a fork, this OpenSCR, which ended up in a trademark issue with a US company, and at the end, we choose to change the name instead of challenging that in court. So we have Kamailio, which is kind of a unique now. It's easier to identify the project rather than having something more generic. As we own the cbrouter.org, we could have used that, but that's more like a dry or too common name to use. Back in 2008, CP Express Router and Kamailio joined back the source tree for a few years. It was a combined or mixed group of modules, some coming from CER, some coming from Kamailio. And in a few years, we decided, or we merged what was possible in terms of useful features when the modules were overlapping. Then some of them we rename it, and we put all together back in the same folder with modules and extensions, and now it's no more confusion, because for a while that was quite a problem for newcomers. So again, the focus is Kamailio as a name, as we build a brand around it in the past years, and then it's up to you if you want to change the name to an older one, or even a new one if you want to relabel it. So we did quite a lot of work. As you know, these major releases are coming with a consistent group of features. 0.7 was as far as I remember, as I joined quite in the early days of the project, the first one that was actually like working with the phones, but it was not an open source release. The first open source release was 0.8. or might have been just shortly after releasing open source, we did the 0.8. Then 0.9 is the long-living CP Express Router release. Even like 2 months ago, there was an email on the mailing list. I have a SCR 0.9.5. I want to upgrade. So that was quite a long-running deployment. OpenSCR, it's the range with 1 point something. Then when we merge back with CP Express Router, we jump it actually to 3.0, because CP Express Router, although didn't have like final release, they are in pre-release phase with 2.0, and they already had it in the version, and we didn't want to overlap, so we jump it to 3.0 to be clear that it's more than CP Express Router expected to be 2.0 release at that time. And 3 point something version are those from combining the sources. With 4.0, you already merge with the source tree and modules, and it was a single kind of application pushed forward. And now the last stable release, 4.4, and I think it's 0.1, the minor release. And we are heavily working on 5.0, where we try to do a bit of refactoring of some of these core components. And again, more about this and also about the evolution, how these releases impacted the evolution and so on. You'll see tomorrow in my slides. I don't want to focus much on it today. We are now on GitHub from the last year, actually. And yesterday I presented that it's our collaboration portal now and is the recommended way for submitting bugs as well as patches, pull requests. If you ever wonder when the developers are awake, so pretty much during the weekdays, but some of them are also awake during the weekend. So this is a punch card with the commits. Some statistics, because it's quite interesting, as you could see, we have quite good evolution over the year and growing, of course, some down and ups depending on the season and the years. When it was like the merge in 2008, quite a lot of activity. Then it was more like testing, now a lot increasing. But overall, we have a steady evolution that shows that the project is healthy and continuing to develop quite well. A lot of contributors, like active, per month. These are counting also the patches from external, not those developers that have direct write access. And also, summary of the year shows quite good activities around. Highlights in terms of the new feature for past year, quite a lot of improvements. Kamailio is not here, but he added this new memory manager that looks promising and quite useful for large deployments, which forced me to add a dynamic memory manager framework, so you can choose the memory manager at startup instead of recompiling. Quite a lot of enhancement to the syslog, because with journal from systemd, but also integration with the ELK stack, it's now easier possible as you can have your own syslog exporter, to put it like that. Statistics collectors, a lot of work with Lua, Python, JSON, WebRTC for framing support. Good work from 1N1 and SIPWise regarding the management of the RTP engine farms. Config tracing from Victor as well, SMS ops from Karsten. I counted here, and I think I missed a couple of them, but I wanted to show that a lot of people are coming to this event, and they are kind of very active developers, and some of them from the old times. If I miss someone, tell me and I'll put it here, but I think there are over 20-something in the room across all the days. Now I want to highlight some of the tools that I would like to take over, because it's a bit of a discussion about this database migration and so on. CamCLI was released last year, but I want to bring it back. If there are Python developers, DevOps that want to help with tools around Kamailio, this could be a good framework. Packaging, I really want to stress this, and big thanks again to Victor Seva from SIPWise and the SIPWise team for doing all the Debian. We still lack the RPMs, which I kind of do via OpenSUSE build system, but I don't use them, so sometimes might not be the best packaging, and some dependencies might be missing there. And thanks here to Fred and LOD for providing some mirror to this. If you do this consultancy, business-oriented with Kamailio products or services, you can get listed in our website. We'll give you quite good visibility. So please look at the website and join us. Also, you can get listed if you have a telephony service. So you are an operator, you can also get your listed automatically. The previous one was more for consultants and people that sell products that embed Kamailio. We are more or less at the reviewing side with the SIB routing, finishing it actually this year after 1 year. And of course, I will have 2 pieces to give away as a present to you. It's delivered as a PDF, if so, like electronic format, but here I printed paper with printing on demand to give it away. So this would be the introduction for the today, and again, it's gonna be quite a long day today with the cocktail party at the end and plenty of presentation at rather fast pace, 30 minutes, coffee breaks, and lunch in the area. So we try to keep everyone here. As you could see, it's quite full room. If you need something around, you find us at the front desk. Now, thank you for coming again. And I want to invite Professor Magedans from Fraunhofer Focus to give us what's next in real-time communication. Thank you.